What's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So, today's story is one that is probably one of my favorite stories of all time. It's crazy, it's funny, it's just got a little bit of everything in it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do. Let's get into it. So, I've talked about it a million times on this channel before, about how back in the day when I was a teenager, I definitely loved exploring abandoned buildings. I've talked about it all the time. I would go in to these abandoned buildings, whether they'd be an abandoned hospital or abandoned psycho ward or, an abandoned school, and explore it and take pictures and stuff. And some of those memories are still some of my favorite memories to this day. But there is a huge risk with exploring abandoned buildings, such as asbestos, inhaling different, toxins, and coming across homeless people that live there that might be dangerous, or structural integrity, you could walk on a floor that's weak and fall through. There's a bunch of stuff that's dangerous, and that's why I have to say, if you're watching this video and you're like, oh, that sounds really cool, I want to go do that, don't do that. Just learn from my mistakes, all right? But this story time is definitely one of the craziest experiences I've ever had exploring an abandoned place. So let's jump into it. So today's story time all takes place back when I was 18 years old, the month after I turned 18. I was hanging out in New York, in my hometown. I was with 4 friends of mine, and we had nothing to do. We were just driving around the city, bored, just nothing, listening to music, trying to figure something out to do because we were so bored. And my one friend, John, was like, yo, you want to go explore an abandoned spot? And all of us were like, we haven't done that in a while. We've kind of seen everything. What's left? And my friend John's like, well, there's this abandoned house. It's a mansion that's been completely untouched for 15 years, but it still looks pretty good, and I want to check it out. And one of our friends was really down to do it, and then me and my other friend were kind of I don't know, we're all 18 now, we could get arrested, I'm not sure. But after 20 minutes of just having nothing to do, me and my friend that were kind of on the fence about it, we're just you know what, fuck it, let's do it. So we drove to this abandoned mansion 30 minutes outside of town, and we got there. And John was not kidding. This place, for being 15 years abandoned, looked extremely well kept. It looked very nice. It didn't even look like it was abandoned. It looked like the people were just on vacation or something. And I remember asking John, I'm like, are you sure this place is abandoned? Because it doesn't look abandoned. And John's like, no, I'm serious. Look at this. And he pulls open his phone and he shows me, on this website that we have, it's literally a database for abandoned places in my city. And he showed me, he's like, yeah, look. And it had this whole backstory about why it's abandoned and what happened. And I guess the family that used to live there couldn't pay the mortgage, so the house got foreclosed. So the government owned it at that point, and it just sat there completely vacant for all these years. So yeah, it was pretty much just abandoned. And we're like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we parked right in the driveway, which was pretty stupid because it's obvious that there's people inside if you do that, and we're not supposed to be seen. But also, parking in the driveway was kind of a lifesaver, and you'll hear why in a minute. But yeah, we park in the driveway, we walk up to the front porch. The front door is obviously locked, so we loop around to the back, and the back door was just completely off. The sliding glass door was just gone, so it was just an open staircase to the back of the house. We just walked right in. So we did, we walked right in, and let me tell you, the back of the house was a lot more rotted and abandoned than the front. So once I saw the back, I was like, okay, this place is really abandoned. So we go into the house, and everything inside's pretty fucked up, because, there was a door that's been open for 15 years, essentially. There's no door, so rain had got in, and, just the weather had pretty much fucked the inside of the house up, at least on the downstairs. The downstairs was very, moldy and, rotted and gross, but it was still really cool to see, this house, and how half of it was really fucked up, and the other half really wasn't. So we explored the downstairs, nothing out of the ordinary there, and then we're about to go upstairs, right? And I led the way. I step foot on the staircase, I start going upstairs, and about halfway up the staircase, I hear someone yell from the upstairs. I hear a voice go, hey! And I'm like, what? And I look at all my friends, and they look at me, they're all behind me, and we all just stop. We're not going upstairs now because we're scared. And I whisper, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Do I respond? And John's like, let's just leave, dude. Let's get the fuck out of here. And right after he says that, the guy yells again, hey, who's in here? And I'm like, yo, is this place not even fucking abandoned? Does someone live here? And John's like, I don't know, dude. Let's just leave. So we get off the stairs and we start booking it to the back door to get the fuck out of this house. And behind us, I hear someone come barreling down the stairs full speed. And I turn around as we're leaving and I see this man pretty much almost completely naked. I mean, he had only underwear on. He had a fucking beanie on. He had long gray hair, a giant big gray beard, probably looked like 50 or 60 years old. And he was barreling down the stairs with a shotgun. And I'm like, run, run, run. And all of my friends and me fucking booked it out the back door. And we're hauling ass, just not looking behind us, because if we slowed down at all, like, we probably would have gotten shot. So yeah, we just kept our eyes in front of us and just ran full speed to the car. And thank fuck my friend decided to park in the driveway because we were so close to the car. If it was any farther, like, that guy probably could have caught up to us and, like, who knows what would have happened. But we jumped in the car, my friend turns it on, we start to put it in reverse and get out of there, and we see the guy come around the side of the house, and he's, like, looking at us with his shotgun, and he aims the gun up in the air, and he goes, yeah, and fucking don't come back. And he shoots it up in the sky. And my friend John, like, lets out an audible scream. He's like, ah! We fucking reversed and peeled out of that driveway so fast after that. And we got the fuck out of there, dude. And I remember the whole drive home, we barely spoke to each other at all because all of us were just in pure shock, like, just absolute adrenaline rushing, like, terror. And we got home, and I remember, like, we kind of decompressed a little bit. And I remember I looked over at John and I was like, yo, go on that website right now and please write a comment telling people to not go to that house. Because if someone does, they'll probably get really hurt or worse. So please write like a review or something or a comment. And he's like, yeah, man, I got you. So he went on there and he wrote a big comment, and I got a bunch of upvotes and replies, and other people were responding, being like, yeah, I second this. Like, I went there a few months ago and this crazy guy chased us out. Like, he's armed, he's dangerous, don't go in there. So people knew about this, which was pretty crazy. And honestly, I'm kind of annoyed these people that went there before us and knew about this guy didn't write like a comment below on that website being like, hey, there's a guy with a gun here. Because if I would have known, I would have never went there. But you know, whatever, in the end, we were safe. And as far as I know, nobody's gotten like shot or hurt over there. And after we wrote that comment, it became like a well-known thing to not go over there, like in the abandoned exploration community. Like, nobody went over there. It pretty much just became a well-known thing to stay away from there. And 6 years later, they knocked that house down. Yeah, me and my friends drove by it. We were going to like a store that was out towards that way, and we had to pass by it anyway. So we wanted to see what the house looked like. So yeah, we drove by it, and there was no house there anymore. They knocked it down and just turned it into a plot of land, essentially. So yeah, I don't know where that guy is today. Hopefully he like found a job and got his own place and isn't living in some abandoned building with a shotgun just in his underwear. But yeah, guys, moral of the story is stay away from abandoned, creepy places. As fun as they might look to explore, you could run into some pretty creepy, dangerous shit in there. So yeah, be safe. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
I be fully loaded, I be whipping foreign cars. Always stay devoted, mama knew I'd be a star. Now I'm steady flowing, feeling